All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network on a Saturday afternoon, March 8th. A little spring training action as Giants look like they are in rare season form, playing some pretty good ball down here in the Cactus League in Arizona, where I'm at right now. And we're going to get into this. We'll talk about the game, the team, and how things are looking this spring and going into the regular season here in just less than 3 weeks. But first, let us thank our sponsor of the show, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Give them a call for every legal need you might have. You got a personal injury situation, you got a friend, family member, yourself, got in an accident. Hey, give Chapman Law Group a call. Talk to them. Maybe you could be, hurting yourself by not, looking into this situation. Give them a call. There's no cost for the call and the appointment to set up a personal injury case. Give Chapman Law Group a call, 415-613-9483. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. All right, everybody, let's get into this. All right, there goes the band. Welcome, everybody. Saturday afternoon, 3:41 here in Arizona. California going to catch up to us leaders here in Arizona tomorrow. Or is it tonight? Is tonight daylight savings time, guys? I think it is, isn't it? It sure is. All right, guys. Hey, tomorrow, California going to catch up with us in Arizona. You guys behind the eight ball there. Come on. Let's get with the program. All right. So tomorrow we will all be on time. Hey, and speaking of tomorrow, if you're watching right now, we will be live tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I don't have to say Pacific Standard Time anymore, just 8 o'clock, Arizona Pacific Standard Time, all the same, starting tomorrow. And we'll be on with the Hot Corner. And that is a show where Giants Sports Talk Live, Glenn and Eric, join Lou Marston and myself. So let's get into this game today a little bit, guys. A lot of things I liked. I like what I'm seeing right now. And granted, this is spring training. This was a split squad for the Royals. Their star players were not there today. They were in Surprise, Arizona, where they had their own game. And look, to travel to Scottsdale from Surprise is a good hour by bus, okay? So it's probably the furthest distance between teams. Well, actually, some Surprise going out to Mesa to see the A's or the Cubs. That's a little further than Scottsdale, but not too much further. So they're not sending their regulars. They're sending their rookies. But they did send out Michael Wacha, who is a frontline starting pitcher in the big leagues. And the Giants hit well off of Michael Wacha. So Giants pitching, look, take it with a grain of salt. They're facing a lot of guys that aren't going to make the roster for the Kansas City Royals, okay? But when you're facing Michael Wacha, you are looking at some at-bats. And one of the things I want to talk about is Matt Chapman today. He looks good right now. I think Matt Chapman may be poised to have a better year than last year, is because he's in camp. He's settled. He's happy. He's had recently a kid. He's settled. He knows where he's going to be. He's got a no trade clause. one thing I will tell you here at NorCal Sports Network, I will tell you like it is. I will tell you when things are not good, and I will tell you when I think things can be good. And I have been hard on Matt Chapman, and rightfully so. I've been hard on him when it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position. All right. Matt Chapman, 45 home runs. Clayton, no way. No way. He won't hit 30. Okay. But what I like about Chapman is he looks settled. He looks, look, he didn't know where he was going to be last year. He signed, spring training had already started. And, Matt Chapman has a career of not hitting well, driving in runs. Okay. So I'm not here to say that Matt Chapman is going to have some stellar offensive productive year. I think Matt Chapman had a pretty productive year for him last year. So yes, and I will get to Yaz. I will get to several players here today. We'll discuss that. I will show you the box score in a minute, and I will go player by player what I'm seeing. But the thing I'm seeing with Chapman is great defensive play. Put out some post on Twitter today if you want to check that out. NorCal Sports NW at NorCal Sports NW on Twitter. He's got great range at third base. He is cutting balls that are, to the shortstop. He's getting to those, and he's spinning and throwing to first, and he's getting every ball that he can get to. And that's what he said he's going to do. And he's going to basically make the plays where Adames has to backhand it and throw a little deeper. He's making that a shorter throw. And, Chapman's stellar defense, okay? Offensively, I don't know how Chapman will do this year. The one thing I said on Twitter is, in fact, I will pull that up for you guys. What I said on Twitter, let me just pull up all right, here we go. Let me bring this up for you guys right now. This is what I had to say about Chapman. If he continues to make difficult plays look easy, he comes way over. You can see that. So as I look at volume down here, okay. So if you look at this, Chapman will range over to the shortstop, to the 6 hole. That's a routine play for Adames, not even having to backhand it, but Chapman gets to it. Now, what I said is this, guys. Let me hold on here. What's going on here? All right. 1 second here while I shorten this. Okay. What I said is if he can somehow cut down on strikeouts with runners in scoring position, he could help the Giants contend for a wild card. If Chapman can cut down on those strikeouts. Look, I said this on the show yesterday. If the Giants have a runner on third base with less than 2 out and the infield is playing back, you have to learn to play fungo or pepper, okay? That's where you're just hitting the ball to bat. You're just going up there looking to hit the ball on the ground to shortstop, second base, get the run in. That's what playoff baseball is all about. Giants need to learn to actually do that. What happens is the Giants go for this massive 2-run homer, or if they got first and third or second and third, they're looking to, just get 1 run in. Either hit a sac fly or, especially with 2 strikes, you've got to shorten up. You've got to choke up. You've got to learn to change your swing path and put the ball in play. And that will likely get the runner home. So that is what I am saying. The Giants have to learn to do this. And there has to be an emphasis on it. Buster Posey was a master at this. And I think, guys, if the Giants can play fundamentally sound baseball and actually play solid defense, good pitching, timely hitting, situational hitting, I think the Giants can be a much better team. I really do. Look, I love what Luis Matos is doing. Another hit for Matos today in his only at bat. Just put the ball up the middle, ground ball, base hit. He makes contact. Yaz looked pretty good today as well. He hit the 2-run homer after he got ahead in the count, 3-0. Took 2 questionable called strikes. I think if the challenge system was in play today at Scottsdale, he would have challenged, but he didn't, and he got a 3-2 pitch and drove it into the right center field seats for a home run. So here's the box score today, guys. We take a look at the Giants box score, and Lamont Wade, again, another walk, got on base. He's got a 440 on base. Even though he's not hitting, he's only got a 125 batting average, but he's on base. And as they say in baseball sometimes, a walk's as good as a hit. So if he can get on base at the leadoff guy, you take it. Jake Lamb, he's not long for this team. He will be in the minors in Sacramento if he takes a minor league assignment, if the Giants want to hang on to him, unless they just flat out release him. Willie Adames, 1 for 3 today, hitting 364. Same on base percentage as Lamont Wade. Look at that. So that tells you batting average. Look, on base percentage, both of them, 440. Pretty interesting. It tells you Wade has got a great eye. Jung-Hoo Lee with another solid hit today. I like what I'm seeing from Lee. Grant McCray, he will be in the minors. He beat out an infield hit. Matt Chapman, 2 for 2, 3-run homer and a stolen base today. Again, my thing with Chapman is let's just be able to make contact with runners in scoring position. Put the ball in play, man on third, less than 2 out, either a sac fly or a ground out over, just not a lazy pop-up or a comebacker. All right, Ramos got his first hit today. I believe it might have been his first hit of the spring. He's had limited at-bats. Wade Meckler, he's a minor leaguer. Yaz, I mentioned, the 2-run homer. Matos, 1 for 1. Matos is, if Yaz is playing well and he's hitting against right-handed pitching and he's doing well, then you got to play him. But Matos is a guy that needs at-bats. I hope they find a way to make Luis Matos an everyday player, pretty close to it. He's got to get his at-bats. Heck, I'd rather see Matos be the DH than a Wilmer Flores at this point, because he's so young, he needs at-bats. Wilmer Flores, 0 for 3. Encarnacion hit in the 9th inning or bottom of the 8th out. Fitzgerald, he's not showing much at the plate right now. Wisely got a hit. Stassi got a ground ball up the middle. Stassi probably going to be in Sacramento if he takes that role. He's from Yuba City, north of Sacramento. So if he doesn't get a job somewhere else, that's a good place for him to be. He'll be part of the Giants team this year because one of the catchers always goes down, whether that will be Sam Huff or Patrick Bailey. So you want a guy like Stassi as your third in line in the rotation. So let's see where this thing goes. I hear you, Hiroku, with Chapman, 695 strikeouts in 4 years. That's an astronomical number. That's averaging about 174 divided by 4. I believe it's 173.75, 174 Ks, and that's right where he's at. I think he struck out like 173 times last year, if I'm not mistaken. Right in that ballpark. So, yeah, Chapman has to learn to make contact. We'll see. It's an emphasis this spring with the hitting coach, Pat Burrell. It's an emphasis with Melvin. It's an emphasis with Buster Posey. And, I don't know. I think 2 of the 3 guys make that team, JBAU. Unfortunately, I think Schmidt is the guy on the outside looking in. I want to see him make it. It's down to him and Wisely. The fact that Wisely is a left-handed hitter and more of a pinch hitter type than Schmidt. Schmidt's an everyday player. Wisely's really not an everyday player. Even in the minors, I don't see Wisely as an everyday player. He's a journeyman. Schmidt has starter potential. The one thing I like about this club with Casey Schmidt, the Giants have the best third base combination with starter and backup of any team in baseball. Tell me a team that can, if Matt Chapman went down, that could put in a Gold Glove caliber third baseman right behind him, who I think can be productive offensively. I really do. It would not shock me, guys, if Tyler Fitzgerald comes back down to earth and he's not hitting well in the first month or 2 of the season, and he's striking out at 30% clip and he's not hitting for average, that the Giants go to Casey Schmidt at second base on an everyday situation. Look, today's game, if you want to make a statement with the Giants, if you want to change the attitude, the culture of this team, Giants were up 7-0 going into the 9th inning. Garza came in. Look at this ERA of Garza. He's been awful all season long. Okay. Every time this guy's come in, it doesn't. I would send the guy out tonight. I would say, you want to make a statement to your ball club that says we're looking to do things differently. We're looking for excellence. This guy's not going to be on the major league roster. Okay. Put him in the minor league camp today. Send him down. He could still pitch in the minor league games or in these spring training games. So get this guy off the roster. Mark Graves says, keep an eye on Fitz to see if he's adjusted from last year. Struck out a lot on sliders away. Yeah, and he looked foolish doing so, Mark. He would chase pitches like it was a wiffle ball game. He was reaching and lunging for pitches, swinging haphazardly. So, yeah, Murphy is going to go on the 60-day. No one's taking Tom Murphy in a trade, Hiroku. He's owed $4 million. If you want to trade him, someone else takes him for $2 million. But he's starting the year. He's had 1 epidural in his back and likely to have a second. He's got a herniated disc or something going on. The guys probably won't even see the field this year. Maybe the second half, who knows? But Murphy is going to start the season on the 60-day IL. You can bank on that because they need roster spots, because there's a couple of guys that are going to make this club likely that are not on the 40-man roster. And where are you going to get 2 spots on the 40? You're going to trade David VR for probably not much, or you're going to give him his outright release. He's out of options. So David VR will be traded or released. That opens up 1 40-man spot. And then Tom Murphy goes on the IL. That opens up the second non-roster spot. It allows for some juggling to bring in some other players like Lee Trevino. What is the guy's name? Lou Trevino? Lee Trevino is the only guy I know, the golfer. Okay, Lou Trevino, if he makes the club. as a non-roster. There could be another lefty that makes it out of the bullpen. Eric Miller pitched today. Velocity looked pretty good. His command was a little off, to be expected. It was his first outing of the spring. So we'll see. Giants definitely should be running more. Jung-Hoo Lee was thrown out today on an attempted steal. Matt Chapman stole a base. Jung-Hoo Lee has to really learn the base pass much more. He needs to be working with somebody, whether that's a Randy Wynn who can teach him. Randy Wynn was a pretty good base stealer. He's got to learn to be decisive with his attempts at stealing. So, one thing I want to say about this team, look, I don't expect anybody in the media to speak like I can speak, okay? Nobody's going to come out and talk about Farhan being a real stench with this team over the last couple of years. Everything he did was destructive to this organization. The fact that he removed all the championship paraphernalia off the walls, cleaned everything out. I was thinking about this today, guys. Last year, Brandon Crawford didn't get a job. Farhan basically kicked a Giants legend icon out, grew up in the Bay Area. Look, he said he didn't want to play every day. They could have started the season off last year with Marco Luciano at short, just giving him the job. They went with Nick Ahmed. Look, you could have went with Luciano, given him a month or two, and if Crawford needed to step in, Crawford, yes, he was done, okay? We get it. But he should have never been kicked off. He should have retired as a Giant. And this is totally why I can say this, but no Giants media member is going to say it. They're too tight in with the organization. You're not going to hear it from anybody that's affiliated with Giants media, none of them. But you'll hear it from me. Farhan was a freaking clown, And what he did with Crawford, what he did with so many others, what he did with the young players, moving them up and down. Giants ownership needed to step up much quicker. As far as I'm concerned, they were a minimum of a year too late. That guy's ass should have been completely out of the building. And this is why, the Giants, I think, are going to be a much better team this year. I really am starting to feel like this team can be an above 500 team. I don't know. Again, health is going to be the main factor. Okay. If health is good and you don't lose key players, okay, you've got some outfield depth when you got Matos as your fourth outfielder. If Yaz goes down, you've got Matos. If Ramos goes down or Lee goes down, you have Matos. And I think Matos is going to have a breakout year. I really feel like Matos his time is coming to shine. But getting back to this Farhan, I just want to make it very, very clear to Giants fans, to Giants media. Look, I understand I'm not affiliated. I'm not bought and paid for. So, look, I probably could have credentials if I was super, super positive and kissed the Giants, you know what. But I'm going to tell you like it is. And I just think Farhan was more of a disaster than we realize. And I think that's why I think this Giants team could surprise some people. I am getting close. I'm not quite there yet, but guys, I am getting close to putting the Giants as a third place team this year instead of fourth. Okay. I'm very close. Okay. And why do I say that? I think the Padres could have a little bit of a down year. Does this mean that the Giants coming in third, that they're a playoff team? No, I still don't think they are a playoff team quite yet. I've got 3 teams coming from the National League East, and I've got the Diamondbacks as the other wild card. So take your pick your poison in the National League East. Somebody wins the division between the Mets, Phillies, and Braves, and the other 2 are the wild cards. And I think the Diamondbacks are the other wild card team. But I think the Giants are going to be closer at this point than we realize. And again, it's going to be contingent upon their health. If their health is good, I do look. I know this sounds kind of crazy, guys, and but I have been around sports my entire life, and attitude has a huge, huge factor in turning clubs around. Think about the 1985, 86, 87 Giants. The 85 San Francisco Giants were awful, just awful. Okay. They were one of the worst teams in Giants history. And they were, I think they lost 100 games, if I'm not mistaken. Their manager at the time was Jim Davenport. He was replaced late September by Roger Craig, Humbaby. And what happened? The attitude changed, and Humbaby came in, and the 86 Giants were fun, and the 87 Giants won the National League West. So I'm just looking up their record in 1986, and I thought it was a 100-loss season, if I recall. What was the 80? Oh, hold on. I did 86. My mistake. I want 85. The 1985 Giants were, hold on. Yeah, 62 and 100. 62 and 100. Okay. Attitude turned the thing around quickly. Okay. Very quickly. I'm just telling you guys, Farhan was a stench. Thanks, Shell. Everybody like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. Really, really do. I'm sensing a similarity between the 85 Giants and how awful they were and the 22, 23, 24 Giants, even though they were right around 500, pretty flat. That was a team, a dysfunctional organization. If you guys don't believe me, ask if you got anybody off the record. I guarantee you talk to the Dwayne Kuiper, or if you talk to Kruko off the record, and anyone else, they will tell you. But none of them are free to say it. None of them are free to say that he was a disaster. Read between the lines when they talk. Okay, they're talking about this team being different. There's a different vibe. Why is the vibe different? Because Farhan is gone. Okay, and Buster Posey is running a very tight professional ship. Everybody feels it. It trickles down. Okay, it trickles down. And believe me, it trickles down at every level. Okay, so are the Giants as talented as the Diamondbacks or the Padres? I don't think so. They're closer to the Padres than they are the Diamondbacks, but they're not there. The Padres have more talent, but the Padres are also a mess of an organization, and I believe that could have an effect on this team. I also believe, again, that the Giants have an effect that is going to change. Look, there are some veterans on this team: Chapman, Adames, Webb, Verlander, Robbie Ray, guys like that are been around the game quite a while. Okay, Webb being the youngest of them, but those guys are happier. They're cohesive, and it's going to show up on the field. Okay. Lou says in 86, we played the kids. That was a huge difference. I agree to an extent, very much so, Lou. But there will be kids playing on this team, whether it be at second base, center field, and Lee. The outfield, I believe there's, Yaz is the old man there, but 3/4 of it, the fourth guy, if you take Matos, Lee, and Ramos, those are all young guys. They're going to see significant time. Bailey's pretty young, only in his third year. First base is old. Second base is going to be young. You got to have some vets, and the vets are pretty stable in Adames and Chapman. Look, you guys have heard me get on Chapman, and I have got on him, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But I do like Matt Chapman as a ball player. I really think he's a very solid ball player. His biggest thing to me is his batting average. He's never going to hit high for a batting average. If Matt Chapman hits 250, and if he can cut down 3% on his strikeouts, 26%, if he can cut down, say 4%, down to the low 20s, 22%, if he could start putting the ball in play when he's got runners in scoring position, that would help tremendously. I will tell you this: if Chapman reverts to what he's been for most of his career and doesn't shorten up his swing with 2 strikes and just continues to try and mash the ball and strikes out with runners in scoring position, and if we see the same thing with Adames and Ramos reverts to, what he had been prior to last year, and if guys look, it can go downhill. I'm not saying this team is a lock to be a 500, above 500 team. It's not. But I'm optimistic in it can. It can be. And I think they might surprise people. Again, if injuries hit them hard, they're going to be a 500 team at best. If they get hit hard by injury, they're going to falter, okay? Especially if the starting pitching takes a couple of knocks, okay? That could happen. So injuries play a part in every team, not just the Giants. Every team has to deal with injuries. So I just think that the Giants, attitude-wise, there's going to be a difference. You can't tell me that guys that are playing looser, happier, more content on just their situation, and that they are, everybody's feeling cohesive. There's not the craziness of guys going up and down, up and down, up and down, up here for 2 days, down. We'll see some of that occasionally, but there's not going to be this knee-jerk, moving guys up for a series just to take advantage of the platoon crap, okay? That's the kind of stuff that drives a team crazy. Look, you don't think these guys talk, players, and they say, man, yeah, they're probably joking in the locker room, in the clubhouse, yeah, I'll be here for a couple days, and yeah, that sucks, to whoever, yeah, we'll see you back. Yeah, you'll probably be back in a week. You don't think those guys joke about that, and it has an effect on just everything. So that stuff's going to stop. That Mickey Mouse stuff is going to stop. It will be occasionally necessary when guys go down and somebody needs to come up for, spot somebody on the IL. But none of this bull crap for, hey, we need this guy up. We're facing two lefties, so we better bring up Casey so he can play, or we're going to bring up this outfielder because we're facing a couple of tough lefties in this series, so we're gonna bring up another right-hander and sit Yaz. I mean, this kind of stuff is going to be gone. All right, it's going to be regular, more baseball, and I'm just telling you that has a huge effect on players, has an effect on the organization, and no one will tell you this. No one will tell you this, but I guarantee you, almost to a man in that organization, they didn't respect Farhan. Forget it. No way. No way. I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. And you can't tell me that these professional players, professional announcers, professional coaches thought what Farhan was doing, this was just fantasy crap that Farhan was pulling. So no one will tell you this. You just won't hear it because it's all, it's like Washington, D.C., where everybody, they rip each other the here and here, but then they go out and have a drink together, both parties, whatever. It's all a big ass show, in my opinion. So same with when it gets into professionalism with no one's going to rip on Farhan. Okay. It wouldn't sound good for Kruko or Kuiper or Ron Wodas or any of these guys to tell you that to any of these guys to rip on Farhan. It doesn't sound good. But I guarantee you, and who do I blame most for it? I blame Larry Baer. I blame Larry Baer and I blame Greg Johnson. Those two guys. In fact, Greg Johnson was at the game today, guys. I was shocked to see Greg Johnson at the game today. You know what? Let's pull up Greg here. We've got a little picture of him right here with Barry Bonds. There he is. Greg Johnson in the pink, sitting next to Barry. All right. Greg Johnson actually showing up to a game. All right. But I blame that guy and Larry Baer. They should have gotten rid of Farhan a minimum of a year earlier, but I would have said 2 years. After the fourth year, look, after the 22 season, when they went back to 500 after winning 107 games, you should have fired him right then and there. But you don't have a winning mindset. Look, Buster Posey, don't buy into any of this stuff that Buster Posey moves to Georgia, back near Atlanta area, where both sets of family parents are there. His parents and his wife's parents are there. They got both sets of grandparents. And you can't tell me that Buster moved back when he did to move back, a year and a half early, that this wasn't the plan all along. Okay. One more year of the Buster Posey moved back to take over this team when he did. And they made it sound like they weren't sure what they were going to do. Okay. Look, they'd had enough of Farhan, and it took Buster. And I don't believe ownership made the offer. I believe Buster said, look, I'm coming back. This team's a disaster. I need to take over this team. Okay. I believe that conversation took place. No one's ever going to tell you that. But look, they knew that they couldn't go one more year with Farhan. They didn't have the guts to do it a year earlier. They needed to. So anyway, hold on one second, guys. Hold on one sec. Hold on. I got to make a text. Wait 1 sec. Just texting somebody real quick. Let me just do this. 1 second, guys. Got to do a little house cleaning here while I'm on the show here. I've got to do. This thing takes forever to download for whatever reason. All right, here we go. 1 sec. 1 sec. I got to invite somebody here. Okay, all done here. All right, there we go. So this is my big take on things. So I do think there is going to be a change. And, I haven't made up my final decision on the team. There's still, what is today, March 8th, guys? There's still almost 3 weeks left. Injuries could happen still here in spring training. I hope not. I don't want to see that happen, but I will make up my mind. If things continue to look the way they are and guys stay healthy, I do think this Giants team could be over 500, okay? And I think they could, if things go well, win 85 plus games. But again, injuries are going to be a huge factor. So I will be making my prediction show on March 26th, the night before the Giants season opener in Cincinnati. So you're not going to want to miss that show. That'll be Wednesday night, March 26th. My crew will be on, and we will all make our predictions for the upcoming season for all of baseball, and we'll see where we're at. I don't know if I'll be the only one that thinks the Giants could be over 500 again. I want to see what the next couple of weeks happen. We still got 2+ full weeks. In fact, the Giants leave Arizona 2 weeks from today, and they will play 3 weeks from tomorrow up in Sacramento, Sunday night, and then they will play Monday and Tuesday against the Detroit Tigers at Oracle Park, and then they will head to Cincinnati on Thursday, the 27th, for opening day of the season. So, yes, Mark, I agree. 85 wins only if no key injuries. I've been emphasizing that. It's going to have to be no injuries to key players. And we'll bring in the great Steve to the show as he's got his nice White Sox hat on. Lo's been talking about the game today. I've been talking about the positivity of getting Farhan out of the building. Buster bringing in guys that are professionals. And I'm saying that I'm seeing an attitude shift. I saw it in the 85 season when the Giants lost 100 games. They brought in Roger Craig, and it was an attitude adjustment. And the Giants were fun to watch in 86 with Will Clark and Robbie Thompson. 87, they won the division. Not saying the Giants are going to win any division titles anytime soon, but I am saying that I think this team, if they stay healthy and there is just an attitude alone, the fact that Chapman is in camp early, he's got stability, he knows his life. Hey, look, all of us feel the same way. When your life is kind of chaos, it's kind of hard to be at your peak performance. But when life is settled, you got a baby. He's had a recent child. Logan Webb's had a baby, and when everything's good at home and things are going well, it can have an effect on a team. And that's all I'm saying, guys. I'm saying that I think this team could win 85 plus games. Again, if they stay healthy. And the key is going to be watch for this early on, guys. Watch for this opening day. Watch for this, the opening road trip, Cincinnati, Houston. Watch for this through April. With the runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, are they swinging for the fences for the big 2 to 3 run homer? Or are they just trying to get that run in and cut down on strikeouts? If you see some changes like that, they will win those close 1-run games over. And they will be, last year they were like 24. So they had like 45 to 50 games, 1-run games, and they were near 500. If you could take that 1-run game and you play 50 games, and instead of being 25-25, how about if you're 29-21? That's 8 more games you just won. Or no, 4 more games. Sorry, 4 more games. But that's 4 games right there. Okay. So what happens if you go 30-20 instead of 25-20? You've added 5 wins right there. And that's just 1-run games. So that's what I'm looking for. Los, what's your take on all this?
I mean, mentally, baseball is a mental game more than probably any of the other sports. So things in your personal life, being messed around, going up and down from the minors to the majors, being a DH, when you feel like maybe you can play a position, all these things can lead mentally towards, subpar performances. So, yeah, I think from a mental point of view, getting Farhan out of the building is nothing but positive.
Huge.
Whether that translates to wins on the field remains to be seen, but it's a legitimate point to bring up for sure. I think that one of the things we were all kind of disgusted about with Farhan and his era was kind of like eliminating the history, eliminating the past, the greatness of the Giants' past, taking down, photos and murals of past achievements and past successes, almost being insecure.
Yep.
I don't know if the great ones were in camp as well, but
nope, not all of them. Not right now.
I just watched Barry Bonds do an interview on what is it, Up in Smoke Up in Smoke is the movie with Cheech and Chong, all the smoke, and he was very, very blunt and very honest. The San Francisco Giants have maybe possibly the greatest resource in hitting at their dispense, and I don't know why they're not using it. Forget about the roids and forget about all the things attached to Barry Bonds. He has maybe the best and brightest and highest IQ mind currently alive in the game today. And it's a resource. He can pick up pitches. He can pick up tips. He can pick up things that other guys, quite frankly, can't. He is a resource. And to not be able to have him in camp kind of blows me away, because Lord have mercy, our hitters could use any edge that they can get. And one thing that he struck me is he said, my dad, Bobby Bonds, told me, be a hitter, son. Stop chasing the fences. Ironically, he became the greatest home run hitter of all time, but he was trying to say, stop just trying to hit for power. Isn't that what we always are preaching on here? Is today's game is power, 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 and to hell with my batting average. Barry, through his dad, learned being an all-around great hitter makes you an all-around better player. If you can hit 290, 300 with 30 to 40 home runs, you're more valuable than 225, 230 with 50 home runs. And he played great defense. So why Barry Bonds is not in camp, I don't know about every day. I don't know if he would commit to being a hitting coach. I know it didn't really work like that in Miami. But why he's not in camp at all to work with our hitters as a resource, because he loves the Giants, is beyond me.
He actually was a couple days ago. He was working with Yaz.
Good.
And Yaz that day went 2 for 2 with a home run. Yeah, he was working with Yaz. And look, he was at the ball game today. We got a little picture of him earlier, sitting next to Greg Johnson, the Giants owner of all people. There he is. There's the great Barry still. Hey, Barry was on video the other day talking that 100 miles an hour today, he still can hit guys at 60 years old. He'd still be able to hit it out. Look, there was a time. Look, he would have been the best hitter on the team last year for the Giants, probably. Barry's just an all-timer. I mean, look, if again, roids, whatever. There was many people doing roids, pitchers, hitters, a lot of guys. Sean Green hit 49 home runs for the LA Dodgers in that era. Okay, come on. Never came close. Look, people were doing it. Nobody could hit a baseball like Barry. He's got the most unbelievable hand-eye coordination that I've ever seen in a baseball player. And that includes Willie Mays. Okay. You watch Willie highlights. Yeah, Willie was great. Barry was superhuman. The guy, just go watch that battle with Greg Gagne. The dude hit 100+ mile an hour fastball, pulled it foul into the cove.
You know that chart they have, Dan? It's like a square, and it's a box, and it has like 9 different squares, and it's red or blue.
Yeah. For
hot and cold areas. Barry would have 9 squares, and they'd all be red. Like, yeah. We have seen him hit up and in, down and in, middle of the plate, of course, down and away, up and away, breaking balls, fastballs. He had no holes and no weaknesses. Did he strike out? Yeah. You get him out sometimes, of course.
Not a lot, though. Not a ton.
But one thing he said that I really, really admired in that interview. I mean, he said a lot, but one of the things that caught my eye was they asked him, what's the key to being a good hitter as far as batting average goes? And he said, well, I watched Tony Gwynn. I watched Rod Carew. I watched some of the greats that actually put the ball in play. And what I learned from them is patience. I think today's young hitter, they think that if they get one pitch to hit, they have to swing at it because they're incapable of adjusting to any other pitch. The great hitters can get 2 strikes on them and no, it don't matter. There are hitters today that absolutely are terrified of getting the 2 strikes because they can't adjust to whatever the pitcher is going to throw in that 2-strike situation. The great hitters are not afraid to take a 1-1 pitch for a strike and let it get to 1-2 because it's like, you haven't got me out yet. I get 3 of them and you only have 2, and I'm going to make an adjustment on whatever you throw. And that IQ blew me away. And that's what, if he could say that to our hitters and just get a little bit of just the mental aspect of the game and picking up things, man, that could be the difference between a 230 and a 250, 260 hitter.
Yeah. It's pretty unbelievable when you think about what that guy did. I'm trying to log in here. I'm trying to see if I can pull something up, but it's I'm not getting it here. See if I can do this with. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Come on. Where's my pause? All right. Hold on. We've already got 2 pitches I missed. We're seeing every pitch here. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see this? We don't have any sound on this, do we?
No. By the way, Gagne struck him out on the curveball. That was a strike.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a homer here.
Right. Okay, look at that. Look at that. That is into the cove, way foul. Do you realize how fast of a bat there's the home run. Do you realize how fast, quick you have on just a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you have milliseconds to react to a pitch. It is over the plate in milliseconds. Now, you're 60 feet away. 60 feet, 6 inches away. By the time the guy releases the ball, I don't know, 56, 50, I don't know, 58, whatever, 57 feet, whatever is, and that ball's coming at you close to 100, you have you have to be starting your swing literally almost when the ball's just about to be released. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and Dan, Will Clark is also a great resource, and I know he's consistently in camp. But I think there's kind of a disclaimer that Will and Barry could only work with left-handed hitters. Hitting is hitting. And again, I'm talking about, not how your batting stance is how your approach is from a left-handed hitter. Again, it's more on the mental side of things, like knowing that you're trying to get in the mind of a pitcher, like what he's trying to do. When a pitcher comes up and in, it's almost guaranteed the next pitch is going to be breaking stuff low and away. He's setting you up. And if you stay one step ahead of them, then that's a huge part of hitting a baseball, which is the hardest thing to do in pro sports.
Yeah. Hey, Bill Lasky is a great dude. Yeah. Really like Bill. And if you ever got a chance to go down to Giants fantasy camp with Bill Lasky, my brother actually
always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Not cheap.
My brother was the MVP of the league.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He was pitched and hit pretty well. Yeah. But a lot of fun. So I do think, Trulos, if that was true, there would be two hitting coaches, one for right, one for left. Exactly. Hitting is hitting.
Hitting is hitting.
But I'm just, Giants are 8-3 right now in the spring with 3 ties. Look, it's spring training, but I think there is learning to win and just playing winning baseball, even though they don't count. There's, again, when you're a team like the Dodgers, it doesn't matter. But when you're a team, how do you feel like the White Sox? They're they're playing crappy and they're one of the worst teams. Do you think that they're going to go into this season feeling pretty good? It was just spring training. No, I'm telling you, the Giants learning to win right now and just going out and playing fundamentally sound baseball can help a team like this. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win 90 games. But I am saying I think they can win 85 games. And if you can get to the season point where you're looking like you're 5-7 games over 500, 8, you can stretch that to 12. You can possibly win 87, 88 games if you're on this trajectory that you're in it. There's something about playing meaningful games. And you've been on teams, Los. I've been on teams where you just start feeling good about things. Things get going, and you can't wait to get to the ballpark, and you're feeling it. You're rubbing off on other guys. Other guys are rubbing off on you. If I know Los as well as I think I know Los, he was probably leading the other guys, getting them fired up, because there's quiet guys, and then there's guys that just have to talk because they hate losing. And that's Los, and that's me. I was the guy that just hated to lose. And I was, hey, come on, guys, let's go. We can get this. Come on, everyone. You pump up guys. You need guys that are leaders. You need quiet leaders. You need boisterous leaders. You need boisterous people to shut up. You need quiet guys to speak up occasionally. There's a balance. And, guys have it and don't. Like Draymond for the Warriors is a guy that needs to speak up, but he's also a guy that needs to learn to shut up.
Right.
Okay. Steph is a guy that leads by example, but there's times when he speaks up, and that carries a big stick when he talks. Okay. There's guys that's just the way sports work. So I think the Giants have a mix. Willie Adames is going to play a key role on this team. It may not show up in the box score every day, okay? It may not show up. He may be 0 for 4, but his attitude's going to be infectious and contagious of playing hard and playing to win. He is a leader. He is a born leader. You could see it in him, and he's going to help some of the younger guys. He's going to help guys like Matos and Ramos, the Spanish-speaking guys. And when guys come up like Luciano, it's going to be like Jimmy Butler to Jonathan Kuminga, things like that. Okay. So all these things play a role. I was kind of hesitant on the Buster hiring because I thought, but the more I think about it with Buster, the more I feel good about things, because I think they're going to learn to figure out a balance where Buster isn't doing all the day-to-day operations, the minutia, but he's more like affecting things with the way he carries himself, the way decisions are made, and where he leads other guys to make the decisions below him, like Meneas and Buster's presence with Melvin and just him talking to Melvin. Look, Bob Melvin, I know a lot of people are not high on Bob Melvin. And look, you feel the way you want to feel. Melvin's had some very successful years as a big league manager. He's considered probably a top 25 manager in the game all time. Okay. He's got a lot of wins. And I do think Melvin is going to be much more free this year to do things the way he wants to do them versus, look, the Giants were a giant, colossal mess with Farhan running the show. You're going to see real baseball this year. I'm telling you, you're going to see real baseball. You're not going to see this Mickey Mouse crap of guys being pinch hit for in the fourth inning.
Yeah, hopefully that's a thing of the past. Every baseball player will tell you that they're either in a rhythm or they're in a funk. And while the win-losses are not important in spring training, it is important to go into the season with good fundamental habits. Good habits as pitchers, good habits as hitters, doing fundamentally the right things. Look, the Giants are not close to being the most talented team in the National League, in the division. For them to win, they have to do the little things right. Every single game. That's getting guys over, that's hitting cutoff man, things that, us that play baseball understand. It's part of our routine. It's why you practice these things over and over and over, where it becomes second nature. So in order for the Giants to win, they have to do these things right. And then, more of their players have to have good seasons than bad seasons. So
yep, absolutely.
I would love to see Barry Bonds, like we've been talking about him. Guys, Barry Bonds choked up. Barry Bonds had a lot of power, obviously. Even before he got big, he had a quick bat and he choked up. Now, choking up does control the bat just a little bit more than being on the end of the handle. I would love to see, and it's probably not going to happen, but we talk a lot about how the Giants are so poor with men in third in less than 2 outs, and how they strike out more than most teams in the league, and how that just hurts your team. Because you're relying on the long ball to score runs. You need to be able to get that 2-out hit with second and third to get 2 runs home. And I would like to see guys like, Chapman and even Adames, when it's 2 strikes, choke up. The good things happen when you put the ball in play. It always does. So whether they do or whether they don't remains to be seen. But to me, that's winning baseball. That's a winning philosophy. But everybody individually, is going to do what they want to do.
Choke up. There it is. Choke up. All right. So anyway, guys, Los, I don't know if you saw the message I sent you there. You free
Possibly.
tonight or?
Possibly. Yeah.
Okay.
I got
we'll see.
dinner
We're going to be
to.
on tonight, guys, at 8 o'clock, roughly. Okay. 8 o'clock tonight, I believe. Let me double check. The game, Warriors Pistons tonight. And that game it's at 5:30, right? Let me see.
5:30 our time.
Warriors, 5:30. So about 8 o'clock, guys. So we'll see if Los is available. If not, I'll be here. Lou Marson will be on with us, and we'll be talking Warriors Pistons. Tomorrow, what do the Giants got tomorrow, Los? Are they playing the Cubbies in a split squad tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked the schedule. I've been all of a sudden.
Yeah,
busy.
Giants are playing the Padres at home tomorrow and at the Cubs in the afternoon. Both split squad. So
how much longer do we have of spring? Like another
2 weeks. They leave 2 weeks from today. So
I want to catch a game or two before they go back.
Are you available Monday afternoon, Salt River?
I might be available. Let's see how the morning works out.
Maybe we'll hit that game, Salt River. That'd be a fun game to go to. 1 o'clock, 1:10, actually 1:10 start. So, and it's supposed to rain a lot next week. So there's supposed to rain Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday and Wednesday of next week and Thursday. Let me look.
We had some hail over here, Dan, and it was so cold that when it settled on the ground, it turned to ice. Looked like it was snowing here for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, they showed on the broadcast today, Giants broadcast, that there was snow up in the mountains from last night. It rained pretty good yesterday, so it got cool. Yeah, this week it's going to get into the 40s down here, the lows. Thursday is going to be a rainy day. Monday's a nice day, Los. We got to go. 80 degrees. 80 degrees, 0% chance of rain. Tuesday, 76% chance of rain. Let's go to that game over in Salt River, 1 o'clock. Mark Graves, if you're out there, let me know if you want to go Monday. You can
Dan will make a return visit to DeFalco's and get his Italian beef and sausage sandwich.
You can meet me at my house, whatever. I'll drive, head on over. Look, I got to take advantage of this week. My wife is gone. I don't have to take.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I gotta hit as many games as possible.
All
right, guys.
Bring the sunscreen.
There we go. Yeah, sunscreen. Oh, Mark, let me know. All right, there we go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tonight at 8 o'clock, approximately. Warriors, Detroit Pistons. Should be a good game. Warriors coming off a 5-game, 8-game trip from the East Coast. Detroit played Wednesday night in L.A., have had Thursday and Friday off. They're going to be well rested. Warriors are tired. That makes the game even closer. That takes the point spread away. I don't even know what is the game tonight. Let's see what the odds are on tonight's game. Tonight's game, the Warriors are favored by, what's the line here? Give me the line. It's not even giving me the line. I don't see it on ESPN. But the Warriors are favored. They got a 64% chance to 35, 36, 64. I think it's closer to a 51-49. I think this can be a tight game tonight. So we'll see.
Game. First game back is always tough.
Very tough. Very tough. So we'll see you guys tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. NorCal Sports Network. Please like this show. It helps kick it out to more people. Subscribe. Tell your friends about us. And we'll see you tonight.